A6. Press Y equals on the graphing calculator.
Alright, so on that first step, whenever it says to simplify each side, you want to have a base and an exponent on each side. So if I've got this, okay, I would want to add 1 first, and then I can solve that. Or the example they give is you need to combine those variables, okay, so that you just have 1 over there. You'll put the left side, well, this is the third bullet. We'll go ahead and finish those. It says put the left side of the equation into y1, the right side into y2, and you can find the intersection to get the solution by one of these two methods. The only problem with this, and Jeremy was already working ahead, the problem with doing it from the table is your answer has to be a whole number for it to work. If it's some long decimal, which the majority of the answers that we will have today, you can't find it on the table. You will have to find it on the graph. So I would much rather you use the graph. So this is where you will have to change your window so that you can actually see where the two lines cross. And then you'll do second trace 5, enter, enter, enter. Okay? So that really, that kind of sums up the instructions. We'll work through a few of these examples. We'll talk about the inequality. So let's look at number 1. So Anna, what is going to go into y1?
5. Is that negative?
Yes, ma'am.
5. Negative x plus 2.
Oh, I need my 5 in there. And what's going to go into y2?
14.
Alright. Now somebody tell me the equation y equals 14. What is that line going to look like?
It's going to be on just the 14 ends.
It's just going to be a horizontal line where y equals 14. So that's really the number that's going to kind of help you to set your window. You want to be able to see that. So you want to set your y max. You want to make sure that your y max is higher than that. So on this one, let's use 20. Okay, so I want you to graph those two, and you'll see me doing it up here too. I'm going to have to clear everything off so I can access the calculator. But if you're not already doing this, kind of follow along with me. Yours will look different in your calculator because it is more up to date. This one's one of the older operating systems. So I'll go to Window, set my Y max to 20. I can see the intersection on the screen, so I'm going to go second, trace, 5, enter, enter, enter. Whenever you write your answer, go to, let's do 2 decimal places. So this one is 0.36. Make sure that you're rounding correctly. Okay, so going to number 2. Hunter, what's going to go into Y1?
Y equals 10x minus 7.
Okay. What's going to go into Y2?
4 squared.
Okay, what is 4 squared?
16.
Alright, so I can go ahead and put that. Will my Y max, on my window settings, will my Y max of 20, will that still work?
Yes.
Yes, because it's above 16. So we'll put that in. Y1, Y2, go to my graph, make sure I can see where they cross. And Mr. Webb, what did you get?
8.2.
8.2. Did anybody not get 8.2? So I can come around and look at it. Did you get 8.2, Zach? Alright, on number 3, Hannah, what's going to go into Y1?
Say Anna or
Hannah, right?
2 to the power of 3x plus 2.
Y2.
1/16.
Alright. So whenever you have a fraction that's between 0 and 1, we're going to kind of do something different with our window settings. We're going to change our Y max to 1, and we're also going to change our Y minimum to -1. That way it just kind of zooms into the x-axis, because if not, if you're zoomed out too far and that horizontal line is really close to the x-axis, you're not going to see it graph. So this is just visually, this will allow you to see it, and it'll probably make the problem a little bit easier. So put those two equations into Y1, Y2. Change those window settings. And Zoe, whenever you get your answer on this, let us know what you got.
I got -2.
Okay. Oh, forgot to change my window. So here it is without changing the window settings. Now, if you got one of the new fancy colored graphing calculators, you'll be able to see that line, but there's a line right here so close to the x-axis that you can't see it. But if I zoom in, there's my exponential graph, and there's my 1/16. So I go second trace 5, enter, enter, enter. Okay, and x is -2. Now, let's talk about the inequality on this. It's the first time we've seen it. So I know we've got x and -2. So looking at the problem, we want to know what part of the exponential graph is greater than or equal to or above that line right there. So of my exponential graph, the part that is above or equal to that line is right there. So all of the x values that are greater than or equal to -2. Okay? The sign that is in the problem is going to be the sign that you will use. In your answer. On 4, Mr. Ogden, what do I need to do on it first?
Put 2 x minus 3 minus 5.
Before I do that, it was the first bullet that we read. We need to make sure that okay, so I would add 5. So on the left side, I'll have 2x minus 3. -3 plus 5 is just going to leave me with 2. Alright, if that horizontal line is somewhere between -10 and 10, and it's not a small fraction like it was on the previous problem, whenever you graph it, if you hit zoom 6, that will take you back to the standard window. Okay, and that way you can, then you should be able to see it on there. Okay, so go ahead and put that into Y1, Y2. And Taryn, whenever you get your answer, let us know what you get.
X equals 4, or X is less than 4.
Awesome. So there's my exponential. There's my horizontal line at 2. Second trace 5. Enter, enter, enter. So x, all x values that are less than, 4, not 2.
Be kind of wrong if we don't have it on the test or a quiz.
Depends on the problem. All right, Dalton, what did you get on number 5?
X is equal to or greater than 2.9.
What is the 2? Is it 2.89? If it's 2 decimal places. Cooper, on number 6, what did you use as your Y max?
I put 35.
Okay. And what did you get as your answer?
X is less than negative 0.33.
Awesome.
On the back, are you going to be looking for like a specific Y max? Or as long as they're
I'll talk about it. Okay. So